Okay, today we're going to be talking about something pretty important, which is why does your life feel boring nowadays? You notice that, right? Moment to moment, you're not really bored because you obviously scroll and all that shit, but overall, your weeks, your days, and your months just feel boring like there's nothing interesting going on. Well, here's why. See, you don't have enough boring moments in your day to day life. That's why your life feels boring. Yeah, it sounds paradoxical, but let me explain. So, I used to be just like you, okay? Whenever I just get bored, I'd pull up my phone and just scroll. Like, suppose I was waiting in a line. Obviously, that's not very interesting, right? So then I just pull up my phone and start scrolling again. Your brain is wired to desire these intense short term experiences. But if you really think about this, our ancestors had plenty of boredom moment to moment. Like they had plenty of boredom. I bet trying to graze the cows isn't the most fun thing. Well, they had more fun than us. I'll tell you that much. They had much more meaningful lives. See, if you don't have boredom, your bar for something that makes you excited or something that makes you happy or feel a certain way will be very high. Because see, your brain adapts like crazy, like it's meant to adapt. And when you start consuming shorts, YouTube videos, video games, and all that, you train your brain to desire those short term, intense, happy moments. Then, if you desire that, obviously you're hanging out with your friends or playing some game with your family or playing sports with your friends is not that intense as your degenerate things, right? And your brain keeps expecting that short term intense thing. And when it doesn't have that, obviously it doesn't give you a reaction like, oh, this isn't that great. But in reality, for most people, that is fun. And for people who are not stimulated constantly, that is fun. But you're missing out on that. And then your only source of entertainment again becomes those very things that made you like this. And that's why you're stuck in this loop of consumption. And that's why your life feels boring. You must have noticed this, right? See, after like a brief period of time where you were just bored, if someone calls you like, hey, let's play some sport, let's play some basketball or something, and you go down or you hang out with your friends or some social activity you do, then you're bored in the moment, right? Do you notice that? Like you just feel more pleasant, you feel more peaceful, and the overall activity just feels more fun, right? And that's why I'm telling you, have some boredom in your life, man. So the more boredom you have, the lower your bar will keep being set. Okay, for things that make you happy or excited or whatever. Now, once you have enough boredom, your bar for something that makes you excited, happy, or feel a certain way will be so low that everything that you do will feel exciting or will feel fun. I'm telling you that shit is real. I have experienced it. Like if you just have so much boredom, everything starts to feel fun, bro. You just hang out with your friends or talking with your family, everything feels fun. That's a very great state to be in. I'm not ready to give up all the fun things forever and just lock them up and never do them again. No. Because you can't just watch a movie with your family or you can't just have like one night just playing with your friends, gaming with your friends. You can have that. No problem with that. But in moderation. But the thing is, you're not very good at moderating, are you? Because every single time when you're scrolling, this is true, okay? Like I'm telling you, this has happened to you, where you'd be like, okay, 5 more minutes of just scrolling, but that very quickly just turns into 1 hour wasted. So you're not very good at moderating shit. Might as well just avoid it then. And also, if you're constantly stimulated and you're watching these shorts and you're playing these video games, watching these Netflix series and YouTube videos and all that, your desire and your drive and all that will just be sucked out of you. Because, see, if you get the reward without the struggle or whatever, then your brain will slowly start to prioritize the reward over the struggle. And when that happens, you won't have the drive to struggle because obviously If you get entertainment so easily without doing anything, then why would you do anything? And when you don't want to do anything, that's when you feel very driveless. You feel um, not really motivated. All those things come up when you start to train your brain that, oh, we can have this entertainment without the struggle. So then why do the struggle? Just skip the entertainment, bro. Just go do that. And ever noticed, see, after like a brief amount of just scrolling or playing video games or watching Netflix and all that, when you're stimulated, if you try to just sit down and focus or try to study or work, you just can't focus for shit. So you need boredom to be focused as well. And actually, you're supposed to be bored before working or before studying. That makes you more focused. So you're picking 1 hour of scrolling over 10 minutes of boredom every day. But you gotta really ask yourself this question. Is boredom really that scary? And am I really that down in the rabbit hole of consumption that I can't even stay bored for 10 minutes? Probably not. But you'd only know that if you experience it enough. And the thing is, your mind will make it sound worse than it actually is. Get some boredom every day. Experience a little every day. So that's why my actual step for you for this video is take 10 minutes out of your day and just sit somewhere and stare at a wall. I'm not joking. Just stare at a wall. Voluntarily just be bored. And you should not have your phone or anything near you because you'll obviously pick it up and start scrolling, feel bored, right? So don't have your phone around you and do that. And I'm not talking about meditating or journaling or whatever. No, you just sit and stare at a wall for 10 minutes every day. I'm telling you, this shit is powerful. So, doing this will make you more comfortable with boredom. And when you're comfortable with boredom, you won't need to escape it by scrolling or by playing video games or whatever. Yo, bro, real quick, can you just go down and hit the subscribe button? I make these types of videos every other week, so you will love my videos. And if you want direct advice from me, join my Discord, links in the description. And always remember, choose what you won't regret.